from the O'Connor House Music Room. I have here in my hand a book of stories that my mother left me before she died. I love stories. I love to read stories, I love to hear stories, I love to watch stories from plays or musicals or movies, and I love to tell stories. This is something that I inherited from my mother. She was not a good musician. I got that from my dad. But man, my mom could tell a story. On long car rides, she would take a familiar Bible story and help us pass the time by, as we like to call it, filling in the white spaces. There are so many stories that you think, really? That's it? After you get done reading it. Jacob had 2 wives who were sisters, and we only get a few details about that. There was more to that story. What about all those people who got healed throughout Scripture? I want to hear the rest of their stories. And then Jesus, he walks around for 40 days and visits with people after he rose from the dead, and we get maybe details about Emmaus and a picnic on the beach and an upper room. What about the other 37 days? My mother had a great imagination, and she was able to make those stories come to life for all of her listeners. Which brings me back to my book. My mom battled cancer for several years, and in that time she was able to put her affairs in order, if you will. Part of that was to write down as many memories as she could. This is a beautiful gift, and it's a beautiful legacy that my mom gave to her daughters, something that I can pass along to my daughter. One of the last entries in this book is my mom's faith story. I was reminded of it this past week when Katie, along with her confirmation class, had to write her own faith story and share that with the elders. It's a wonderful process to go through, to have to look back and see where God has met you and how he has brought you through. You get to see how you've grown in your faith. You're encouraged by it. It solidifies what you believe, and it also helps you as you continue on. Pastor Susan read from 1 Peter in her sermon on May 17th. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15 encourages us to always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you, to give an answer for the hope that you have. We're going to talk more about storytelling as a congregation probably over the next year, because like our confirmation students, are we each prepared to share our faith story? Can we give a confident answer to anyone who would ask us about why we have hope through Jesus Christ? We want each of us to be able to say, yes, we can. I know not everyone loves to tell Bible stories like my mom did or like I do, but thankfully the story that is most important, and truly the only story that you can tell, is your faith story. And I would love to sit over a nice hot cup of chai tea and hear you tell it. So from my pew to you, an assignment. Get thinking and praying and writing. Storytelling is powerful and engaging, and I know I'm not alone in saying that I can't wait to hear the faith stories that we each come up with. Remember, you are loved. Have a great week.